And welcome back to the podcast. And today's episode for our New Year's series is on pendulums.
Yeah, so you actually got me a pendulum for Christmas,
Yes.
which is kind of funny because should we tell them the story about how we first got started with pendulums?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I wasn't planning on this, but it just popped in my head. So I didn't even know what a pendulum was or ever use one until I was working for this like startup company. And it was weird and almost like a cult in a way. But anyhow, the woman that was in charge used the pendulum for like everything, like any business decision, anything, she would always ask the pendulum. And she showed us like how to use it. And it's pretty crazy because it is very spot on, I have to
Yeah.
say. And a lot of the things she said that were crazy, like now I'm like, oh, it kind of makes sense now
Yeah,
looking
she
back.
was like having me play with the pendulum and stuff. And I was just like so confused because I was like, this is so weird. But like a lot of the stuff she did say was like really spot on, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of explain, like, don't discount the pendulum just yet. Let me explain a little bit about how it works and then how you can test it out to know, like, whether or not it's accurate. Okay. So, first of all, the pendulum, there's a couple of like theories behind it. So, the first theory and kind of what I think is that it's pretty much giving you the answer that's on your subconscious mind. So, what your conscious mind is like only in control a small portion of the time. Your subconscious sees the big picture and processes stuff that you can't even process. So, it can give you a lot of insight that you might not consciously realize. And so, anyhow, a lot of people think that with the pendulum, your subconscious is kind of like just gently moving it in one direction or the other to give you the answer that's like on your heart. Um, the other theory, and it could be a combination of the two, I'm fully open to that, is that you're connecting with either your spirit guides or with like the universe or with your like higher self, your intuition. And so there's kind of this like spiritual aspect to it that is what's moving the pendulum in one direction or another.
Yeah, and I feel like I've always kind of believed that it's like all of them combined, like your
Mm-hmm.
subconscious, your intuition combining with your spirit guides to figure out what decision is right for you.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, it's a lot of times when you use it, it's like you're asking like a decision for something. I mean, you can really ask it like anything, but
I think that's true too, because there's been quite a few times where I've asked a question and I fully expect a certain answer and it'll give me the other answer.
yeah.
And so it's like that. I don't think that's my subconscious. I think that's coming from something else. But in case you don't know what a pendulum is, like, you know, on the big grandfather clocks where the thing swings back and forth, it's kind of
Mhm.
like that, where it's on like a necklace chain and there's a crystal on the end of it and you hold it very steady and then you ask it questions, and depending on the way it sways, it'll give you a yes or no answer. So you want to ask it only yes or no questions,
Yeah.
but to make sure that it's accurate and just for yourself, like if you're skeptical and you're like this isn't going to work, ask it questions that you know the answer to
Yeah,
and test it
so
out.
every time before we go to use the pendulum, I'll usually ask it like, is my name Alexis? And like the way that it sways for that usually means yes. And then I'll ask it like a question that's like not true, like, am I 50 years old? And it'll like sway the other way, meaning no. So that way I know which way is which
Mm-hmm.
I recommend doing every time before you go to use your pendulum. Cause sometimes like the pendulum might switch like which direction is yes and which one's no. And not all like pendulums look the same either. Like some are like different shapes.
And it's just it's fun to do it. Like we had so
Yeah.
much fun the other night. We were like dying laughing, asking it so many questions. So just have fun with it and keep an open mind. Try not to like overthink it too much. Um, and then also it can really help you gain clarity around whatever like decision you need to make. So that's why we wanted to put it as part of the New Year's series, because that's we were using it for you for coming up
Yeah.
with like what you wanted to accomplish in 2025.
Yeah. And there's a lot of places too you can buy pendulums. They have them on like Amazon and like I'm pretty sure this one I got it like Earthbound, but they sell
Yeah.
them like a whole bunch of different places.
And so that's the other thing I wanted to bring up is because we were just talking about this before we started recording. Is if you guys are on TikTok and you've seen the dowsing rod lady, it's very similar to that. So it's the same kind of thing. It's just a different tool. And I think we're actually going to get some dowsing rods and play with those too.
Yeah.
If you don't know the dowsing rod lady, look her up. You will
You've
get
probably
hooked.
seen her at least once and you just don't know what a dowsing rod is, but it's basically these two little like they look like little like sticks that are shaped like kind of like a L
Yeah,
almost.
and
And
they're
like you
they're
hold one
metal.
part. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're either metal or copper. I think they're
Well, copper's
copper.
a metal, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And like she'll like ask them like a question like is TikTok gonna get banned? And it'll like say yes or no, and it'll like move in a certain direction. Then after she says, she's always like, "Thank you,
Yeah, she'll be like, "Yes, thank you," or
no,
"No, thank
thank
you."
you."
But yeah, it's just fun to like to watch and to play around with this stuff.
I wonder if we should be saying thank you when we use our pendulum.
I mean, it doesn't hurt, you know. Gratitude's a big thing that we should all be doing. So let's
Yeah.
just add in a thank you. I mean, why not?
Okay.
You know, I mean, maybe it's our spirit guides.
So this can be a little bit harder if you don't have a steady hand. Um, you can still use it. If you don't have a steady hand, you could still use it, but like it might just be a little bit shaky. Or you can have some if you have like someone who has a more steady hand, you can have them hold it for you. I don't
Yeah,
know if it works if someone else is holding it and they ask the questions, but I've noticed it does.
it worked when we were doing it the other night.
Yeah.
It was like spot on.
Sometimes if it's like not moving, it might not fully be picking up. So the person who like is holding the rod can just repeat that question.
Yeah, and like the other night, let me just tell them this story real quick because it was pretty
Okay.
crazy. We're like doing, you know, all the different pendulum questions, and Aiden, who's her 3-year-old brother, was just being very hyper. And you kind of joked around, and you're like, "Will Aiden fall asleep right away when mom puts him to bed?" And it said yes, and I was like, "There is no way, but nice try."
And
So
they
I
went
go,
upstairs. He went right to bed.
yeah, I came down. I'm like, he literally, and that never happens where he just like, you know, is that
Yeah.
wired and then just falls asleep. So I was like, how did it know? That was wild. Um, so should we start out like giving them a recap of how you were using this to plan your year?
Yeah, we
Like you can
can.
ask it the same questions again because once you
So
gain clarity.
should I like say what I asked it or should I just ask it again? Like ask the pendulum
You could ask it again and then you get kind of like verification on
again.
everything.
Okay. Let me test that. Hold on. I gotta wait till my arm stops.
And if you want to see the video, this will be posted on YouTube if you search Manifest Magic Podcast or Law of Attraction Tribe.
Okay. Is my name Alexis? Am I 40 years old? Okay. I
Okay,
know which
wait, real
is
quick
which.
for anyone that's listening and not watching the video. So when she asked if her name was Alexis, it swayed like forward and backwards. So that means yes. And then when she said, "Am I 50?" I think is what you asked,
Yeah.
it swayed right to left. And so that's how you know like which way it's going to sway
And
for yes or
some
no.
of them might be different. I noticed that usually like up and down is yes and side to side is no, but that could just be for my pendulum. Some pendulums are different.
Yeah. And you could ask it as many questions as you want that you know the answer to like be really sure. But since we've done
Yeah.
this a bunch, we're just going to ask it two
Also,
questions.
when there is what is it, a full moon that you set your crystals out? Or is that a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
For a full moon, set out your pendulums because it'll charge them. It doesn't matter if they're charged or not, but it just is
It's
better if
always
it's
good to
charged.
charge them and
Yeah.
it, you know, and then you can like cleanse them in the moonlight or in
When I was
water.
talking about that and saying it's good to charge them, it started going yes.
Okay, there we go. Charge your crystals during the full moon.
Okay. Um, what should I start with?
Start with just like bring up some of the questions we asked the other day. Like, should I keep joining the podcast?
Okay.
Because that was
Oh,
what we were thinking. Like, should you
yeah.
stop the podcast or not?
Should I keep doing the podcast? Yes. Um, what else did I see? Oh, am I going to become successful through the podcast? No, that's the same thing I got the other day. Should I be starting a TikTok page? Yes.
Wait, while we're talking about TikTok, ask if it's going to get banned.
Is hold on, it's moving a little bit. Is TikTok going to get banned? No. Hmm. Well, if
Well,
you're
that's
wondering if
good.
TikTok's going to get banned now, I guess it's not.
Good time to
Um,
start a page then.
yeah. I don't know what else to ask.
Should you do homeschool?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Sorry, my arm's like it's a little bit easier if you're like by a counter where you can balance your arm better. Should I start doing homeschool? Very
Oh,
strong, yes.
that really started swinging. That's crazy.
Should I start doing homeschool for my junior year? Still really going.
What about ask it homeschool all day or just half a day?
Should I do a half a day homeschool? No. Full day homeschool. Yes.
Oh, okay. Because she was saying she's gonna do half a day.
Hopefully that wasn't loud. I just dropped my mic.
She was gonna do 3 periods home and 3 at school, but this is saying all day home.
Do I do
Ooh.
it through Florida Virtual School? Very, very strong no. If you're watching the video, you can see that it's like moving a lot on its own. Hopefully you can see hopefully my pillow's not in the way. Should I be doing it off of my own curriculum? Yes, it was already kind of swinging that direction before I asked that. Hold on, let me get more. Should I be doing my own curriculum?
Yep.
Yes. Hmm.
Interesting. Um, so are you going to be here? You should probably ask it. Are you going to be successful with TikTok?
If I start a TikTok page, is it going to be successful with that? Yes. I've never seen it move like this much. Maybe it's because it knows
I
we're on the
wonder,
podcast, so it's trying to.
yeah, I wonder if like because it's really moving, if that's like you were saying, it's a strong yes or strong no. Like, does that give it more?
It might be because I'm re-asking these questions to ask for
Yeah, true.
clarification.
It's good validation though, because it's pretty much answering it the
Yeah.
same.
Is the podcast going to get big through the TikTok page? No. Should I continue to do the podcast? Yes. Oh, I think I already asked that.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Well, um,
Well, even if the podcast isn't like
yeah.
a top podcast, it still could be helping lots of people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and it's still just like fun to do.
yeah. Okay, what else? Because there's
I'm
some, I
trying to
feel
think of
like,
what
oh,
else
cross country. Should you do cross country?
Oh, yes. Okay. Should I continue to do cross country next year? Yes. Hold on. Let me be a little more specific. Should I continue to run cross country for my school? No. Should I run cross country on my own? Yes. Because that was what I asked it the other day.
Mm.
And it was saying that I should not run cross country for my school anymore, which there is a lot of stories that go as to why.
Whole background there. Ask if you're connecting with your spirit guides.
Okay, hold on. It's been getting a little shaky. Am I connecting with my spirit guides? Yes. Am I connecting with my self-conscious? Oh, whoops, it hit the pillow here. I'm going to move this pillow because it is hitting the pillow. Sorry, this episode, you have to be a little patient. Am I connecting with my self-conscious? Am I connecting with my spirit guides? Am I connecting with my intuition? All the above, all yes.
Okay. Well, there we go. Um,
So now that we have some like more professional questions, I made a list of like some other questions to ask. Do you have any other questions that you want to ask it?
oh, I have a whole bunch of questions.
Oh, you
I have
have a
some
lot of
wild
questions.
questions though.
Oh, okay.
Here, so in the spirit of the new year, ask if we are truly in the age of Aquarius now.
Are we truly in the age of Aquarius now? Yes.
Ask if AI is going to bring abundance to most people in 2025.
Is AI going to bring abundance to people in 2025? Yes.
I knew it.
Does my dog understand more than half of what I say? Yes.
I think that's true.
Does
I
my
really do.
dog only understand me and not everybody else? Yes. So that's why she only listens to me.
Mm, yep, that makes sense. I mean, you are the only one that pretty much like communicates to her like a human, so that's probably
Yeah.
why. um. Oh, will I? Well, how should we word this? Will we become millionaires this year?
Will we become millionaires this year in 2025? Yes.
Oh, wow.
Hmm. Wonder if that
We're
one's
gonna hold
accurate.
you to it, Pendulum. We're gonna come back and
Yeah.
do a episode at the end of the
Yeah,
year.
we should. We'll do one at the end of the year and we will see how much of these were true or accurate,
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
however you want to word it. Okay. Let's see. Do you have another question you want to ask it?
I do. Does everyone have psychic abilities?
Okay. Does everyone have psychic abilities? It started going towards no, and then it started going towards yes, and now it's going towards no.
Hmm.
I've noticed
Interesting.
that when it does that, it usually means like 50-50, but
Like
I
some
don't
people
know.
do, some people don't.
Yeah,
Okay.
but maybe.
Yeah, that could be.
Do only a certain amount of people have psychic abilities? Yes.
Okay.
Let's see. Will our podcast gain more listeners this year? Yes. Should we collaborate with another podcast? Also, yes. Here to another question.
Um, yeah. Are the orbs we've been seeing aliens?
Are the orbs we've been seeing aliens? Yes.
Should I tell everyone about the orbs that I've been seeing?
Sure. Go
Unless
ahead.
people are on TikTok, you might not realize there's all these sightings of drones, which you probably have heard of that. But then there's also orbs, which look like balls of light. And I've been zooming in and it's wild. I need to post this on social media because when you zoom in, it's like a ball of light, but it's like moving and like shifting and it changes colors and it does all these like wild things. And it's definitely not like a star because I'll record it and then I'll look back like an hour later and it's gone. And I've never noticed that before. So I don't know if they've always, oh, ask it. Have they always been there? Or is it just that I'm noticing them?
Okay, hold on. I switched hands. Let me just test it real quick.
Okay.
My name is Alexis. Okay, yeah, it's going the same way. What did you want me to ask? What if the orbs have always been there?
Yeah.
Have the orbs always been there and we just haven't noticed before? Very strong, yes.
Hmm. So maybe now we're just paying attention because everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
Are they are they benevolent? Like kind?
Are the orbs benevolent? Yes. Are they here? Are they here to teach us a lesson? Is the US government involved with the orbs? Yes.
Not surprising one bit.
Also, I should probably be saying for the people that are listening and not watching the video, those both of those were yes.
Yeah. Is the collective consciousness expanding?
Is the collective consciousness expanding? Yes. Also, if you're wondering why I'm repeating each of the questions, is because I'm the one holding the pendulum for the people
Oh
not
yeah,
watching.
that's probably a
Okay.
good point to bring up.
Yeah.
Um, Oh, let's ask it the questions about gluten. Like,
Oh
is
yeah.
gluten bad for everyone?
Is gluten bad for everyone? Yes.
Is it the GMOs and gluten that's causing the issue?
Is it the GMOs and the gluten that are causing the issues? Yes.
Okay. So for anyone wondering, and we'll probably do like a whole episode on this, but Alexis had leaky gut, had like all these issues, and it turns out like gluten causes like all sorts of problems. And then as I've been researching, they're saying that the amount of people with gluten sensitivities is just going up astronomically from like the past. And like that's what the doctor was saying. He's like, we could test you for gluten allergies and it could say you're not allergic, but you could
Yeah.
still have a sensitivity. Why do you guys just
Shelby,
start dying laughing?
Millie's out there going, Alexis, Alexis, Shelby's eating my toy bread.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. Oh my God. Never a dull moment in this house.
She's running around.
Oh my gosh. So, anyhow, like they're saying that what I was researching and all these people that are super into like the food and health and how things need to change, they were saying it's not even the gluten, it's the GMOs or the genetically modified stuff that's in the gluten that is causing all these issues. So that's why I wanted to ask that. So if you're having issues, look into leaky gut and GMO, get non
Yeah.
GMOs.
Also, a way to be sure if you have it or not is go to a kinesiologist.
Yeah.
That was how I found out. That's how I was
Mm-hmm.
like officially sure. Like I kind of already knew, but like to be sure, I went to a kinesiologist and I also got put on supplements to help. And they helped for a while. And then I started eating gluten a lot again. So
I feel like you've gotten so much better
it's
though than
been a
it
lot
used to
better
be.
though. I need to start taking some supplements and stuff again.
Yeah, with the kinesiology thing, it's kind of like the pendulum in a way because
Yeah.
they're testing out like your muscles, but it all has to do with your body's electromagnetic field, which is kind of like a shield around your body that's super intelligent and connected to everything and can give you the answer to anything, just like the pendulum can.
Yeah.
Really cool. And it
Yeah.
was spot on too.
Yeah, the kinesiology, it was like insane because basically you're like, well, we could do a whole episode going into that, but like
Hmm.
basically how it works is like they place this thing on your stomach and you put your arm up and then like they push on it. And if your arm, like, no matter how hard you push it, like against their hand, if your arm immediately goes back down, it means you like have a sensitivity to like that specific thing or that you have like that parasite in your stomach because majority of people have parasites in their stomach and don't realize it.
Hmm. That's
Like,
because we're the only country that doesn't do parasite cleanses like
yeah,
every 6 months. Just crazy.
yeah. My kinesiologist told me there was parasites having a party in my stomach.
Oh,
He
I
was,
thought you didn't have parasites. You
I
did?
think there was like a couple that were from
Oh.
like they were like from the leaky gut. They were in my gut, not my stomach though.
Okay, we need to do a whole episode because I have so many like natural homemade remedies for this stuff.
Yeah,
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do an episode on this. Um, but yeah, I think looking at 2025, if there's a question, which there usually is, it's usually like, should I do this or should I not? Like,
yeah,
should I do homeschool? Should I stay home? Should I start a new TikTok page? Should I not? Ask the pendulum and just play around with it. And
yeah,
it's pretty amazing. Like you'll see over time that it's very accurate, very spot on.
yeah. And honestly, if you're questioning if you should do something or not, like most cases, I feel like just go for it. But
Yeah.
also, if you really want clarification because you're really not sure, I feel like the pendulum is like one of the best ways to
I
figure that
think
out.
you're absolutely right. If you're questioning it, you want to do it. You just want someone to validate it for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. If you're gonna ask the pendulum, you most likely just want someone to give you a go ahead.
Yeah. You just want
So
to know like everything will be okay.
yeah. I mean, really, like with starting stuff like that, if even if it's like, you're debating on starting a podcast or doing this or leaving your current job, like just do it. If you have to question if you should be doing something or not, just do whatever you think is right. Or if you're not enjoying something, don't do it. But if you think you'd enjoy something else, do it.
Hmm. Yep.
and ask the pendulum for help.
Okay, so my goal is to get dowsing rods and then try this with the dowsing
Yeah,
rods.
we'll do a whole episode with the dowsing rods, and I feel like that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I forgot to say that
Oh,
after.
we didn't say thank you one time. Thank you.
Okay, hold on. Am I supposed to be saying thank you when I use the pendulum? Yes. Thank you. Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Pendulum.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Spirit
pendulum.
Guides. Thank you, Higher Self and Universe. All right. Well, there's your intro lesson of the pendulum. We'll have to do an update on all of these things that come to fruition.
Yeah.
And then we'll try the dowsing rods next and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited for those.
Yeah, me too. All right. Well, stay tuned. We'll do a leaky gut episode soon and teach you all about that and the kinesiology because it's pretty cool. And yeah, I hope everyone's having a great new year. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you back here next time.